Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, February 21st, 2019. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice here that we've gotten within 2 points of reaching the targets here that we've outlined from quite a bit ago. Ever since price got back above 2,500 here, we mentioned that if price can pull back and hold here, there could be a shot to retest 2,600 to 2,620, and an ability to reclaim or establish acceptance back above 2,600 to 2,620 would suggest a move back to 2,800 to 2,820. That's basically been the path here that we've been working off of, and today we got a high of 27.98. So 27.98, getting very, very close to that target zone. So for all intents and purposes, we've basically reached that target, and we could begin to see some sort of pullback of some magnitude again. Usually I like prices to come up here and take out these highs, but we hadn't seen a new high. It's been kind of lower high, lower high, lower high, barely. And this time could also be a lower high. But for the most part, we've seen a very bullish market. We've seen 1 day or 2 day pullbacks at the most. Here's a 1 day pullback, little hold here. This is a 2 day, kind of a hold, kind of a 1 day pullback, hold. So it's been that strong. And right now we're seeing a failure above 2 day highs. That's currently what's showing in overnight trading here. Price pushed above 2 day highs and is rejecting back down. And so at the very least, we could see a pullback, say, to 2760, which would test the 8-period average. That has been bid so far in this up move, but at the very least, if we pull back, a 1 or 2 day pullback could bring us back toward about 2760. But overall, this market continues to push higher to find a real solid rejection high. If today ends up, really, really bearish, then maybe perhaps that could become the high. And now we're working back down toward 2620 to 2600. So again, we'll see if this becomes a major pivotal point in the chart. Keep an eye on 2780 to 2778. Any failure there opens up more downside toward 2760. Taking a look at the NQ, you'll see again, just kind of recapping the recent move. Once price was able to push up here, we mentioned that any retest here, 6200, 6150, could open up a move back to retest these lows. 65, 6600, back above that level would open up a move to 7100 to 7200, and that's these highs here. And we reached 7100, reaching a high here of 71.1375. We basically reached 7100, I believe, yesterday. But overall, we're in the zone. We're in the target zone that we expected to reach. Now, usually I want to see a prior pivot high tested. That would be that 71.39 level right there. That's a prior high there. It's the key range high as well. We've gotten a V bottom reversal all the way back up. It'd be kind of odd not to test that high, but stranger things have happened. So again, here's the key range high right there. 71.39 would be the high, which means if we're going to reject it, perhaps we push through it a little bit, say to 72.14.5, and then start to fail back in some way. That could be a way that this happens. Now remember, one last thing. FOMC key level right here at 67.45.5, that's from January 30th, and the market has rallied since then. So if we do find a rejection up here at some point, the odds would favor a return back down toward that level for a retest. So theoretically speaking, we can come all the way back to 67.45.5 whenever we do find a solid rejection up here at these highs. Perhaps it will occur once we get above 71.39, rejection occurs, and we could have a high quality return back towards 67.45.5. Alright, let's take a look now at crude oil. Crude oil has also been moving higher. It's been very bullish. No end in sight to the strength. Every time it pulls back, it's been very strong ever since it bottomed here, failed low and rally, a whole day, retest of the low and rally. Right now it's an inside narrow range day, trading 42% of average at the moment. But for the most part, this thing continues to trend higher. and it's been a very solid move this entire time, and we're now approaching 58. For the most part, this was the key range high right there. That's the 54.55 level. It's kind of run out of that level. Again, any pullback toward that zone could be a great buy for a continuation. This market continues to be bullish. It continues to show strength. Not yet rejecting any prices here, 56 or 56, 55.50. That was the zone I mentioned yesterday. If it breaks below 55.50, we could be looking at a pullback ahead. But it never did. It continues to hold above it and continues to stretch to the upside. So it's right now currently is mostly a sideways inside day, but we still have an upward bias. We do have crude oil inventories today since we have the holiday shortened week. It will be moved 30 minutes, so it's 10 a.m. Central. And again, that could open up some nice movement ahead. If this thing pushes downward into 55 or 55.50, that could be a fantastic buy opportunity for a continuation towards 61. Alright, lastly, taking a look at gold futures here. We've had a great move ever since the failed new low. We've had nice buy the dip opportunities this entire time, and this time here off of the failed low, getting close to our 13s, it pushed higher very nicely, and I mentioned that low there could stretch this thing to 13.50 to 13.60. We got into 13.49.80 here on that high, so within 2 ticks, and we've now pulled back a bit. That's a pretty strong high right there. So what I mentioned yesterday in the trading room is that any pullback now toward 13.30 could provide an opportunity. 13.27 to 13.30 provides an opportunity to buy the dip for a continuation into 13.60 to 13.75. So 13.75 just has not been a level the gold market has wanted to get through, so I just don't expect it to get through that level. So we're coming close. We're coming close to the end up here. But as you know, once we get to the end, we don't just drop all the way back down. There's typically some sort of range of development that occurs like this before it drops. And it doesn't just turn all the way back up. There's some sort of range of development that occurs before it makes that trip. So even if we do come up here toward these highs, whenever we find rejection, it could be the beginning of what becomes a trading range type of market, which could be very solid for range bound opportunities. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room.